This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911, a torrential downpour. When a flash flood
We thought we had all the right equipment that we're going to need.
becomes a raging river,
Got on scene, it's a whole different story.
rescuers race time and the elements.
We knew the time was very short and very critical.
Plus, a skating accident leaves a boy crushed.
The turning of the tires must have pulled him apart.
On Rescue 911.
We begin in northern Texas, where a series of rainstorms had pounded the area around Gainesville throughout the spring, leaving the land heavily saturated, the rivers and creeks overflowing. Most of the footage in this story was taped as the events unfolded on the afternoon of May 9th, 1993.
It was about as flooded as I've ever seen it.
We have a healthy respect for rushing water. I've seen water move houses out into the middle of the street in my town.
Around 11:25 a.m., an alarm sent Gainesville Fire Captain Malcolm Foster and firefighter Al Bruley out into the storm.
We heard the call for two women stranded in a Suburban in high water. We thought we had all the right ropes and all of the right equipment that we're going to need, and we're going to bring these ladies back, and yeah, we're all going to get wet and have to take a shower when we get back to the station, but that's no big deal. Got on scene, it's a whole different story. This thing is raging, man. We've got this travel trailer on the back of this Suburban that was 4 to 5 foot deep in rushing water. There's no way that you can put anybody down in something like that because they'd be swept away immediately. To look at those ladies and see the fear in their eyes when they roll the window down and wondering what's going through their mind, I'm thinking they're going to panic and one of those ladies is going to jump out and try to swim out. And I know that they can't, not in this water. Okay.
When we continue,
What was holding them on the other side was a guardrail, so that could be washed away and we would have a body recovery.
When a truck pulling a camper trailer was caught in a flash flood and swept off a low water crossing into a raging river, Fire Chief Steve Boone was called to the scene, along with additional rescue units.
Due to the force of water, the only way we figured getting to the victims was by the air. The closest helicopter area here is out of Dallas. We figured that's probably 45 minutes away.
Sometimes you have to write the script as the movie goes along. And we decided the best bet was to take ladder apparatus, extend the ladder to these women, and take them out using the ladder as a crane.
The design of the bridge, which was under construction at the time, was very narrow. And extending the ladder fully off the side of the truck is something that's not supposed to be done. The main concern was the truck tipping over. But we knew the time was very short and very critical.
Up on top. What was holding them on the other side was a guardrail, so that could be washed away along with all of the other debris involved. And we would have a body recovery instead of a rescue. Captain Foster grabbed the rescue harness. I was at the controls of the ladder, and away we went.
neighborhood resident Ray Russell had put in the first call for help.
I had a great concern for Captain Foster himself that he might not survive going into the Suburban, which was subject to being ripped loose any moment.
I get Captain Foster out over the Suburban. He breaks the back window out, goes into the Suburban, and attaches life jackets and life belts to these ladies. and brings the first lady out. Everybody's giving me the signal to go up. I'm already trying it. The ladder won't work.
The ladder was fully extended, which is a 75-foot ladder. And you put the weight of 2 people into that ladder coming off the side. Our outriggers aren't designed to carry that type of load.
The wheels actually came off the ground at one time before all these volunteers climbed all over the opposite side of the fire truck to counteract that leverage. My concern was that the whole crew and truck and everything might end up in the creek.
I was starting to get real worried. We decided to go to a manual operation, which is just a crank. As soon as we got the ladder moving, the hydraulics took back over, and we got the first victim out. I'm not liking it, but I know we got to do it again. Captain Foster gives me the thumbs up. I say, okay, guys, this is same song, second verse. The people around were noticing more guardrails, more pylons, more shoring material washing away from this bridge. So even the bridge that we were on seemed unstable. When we got the second lady almost back to the bridge, the ladder seemed to stop. Finally, somebody reached out and pulled them in.
After nearly an hour trapped in the rushing floodwaters, 76-year-old Marguerite Johnson and her daughter Judy Duncan were finally safe.
There was a lot of high fives and handshaking and pats on the back.
I am a veteran myself of 20 years with the Dallas Fire Department, and I have seen many brave acts. That was the bravest I've ever witnessed, that act by Captain Foster.
I really thought it was going to be a simpler rescue than what it turned out to be. If I'd had another option that I thought would have worked, we would have probably tried it.
The Suburban and the trailer are a loss. My fire truck was bent up a little bit and scratched up a little bit, but that's okay too, just as long as they're out and they're okay.
Both women were examined and released without injuries. Judy then got a chance to call her husband, Carl.
One weekend a month, they go on a trailer trip. And she hadn't called or showed up. I kind of wondered where they might be. So I asked her, well, what kind of problem did you have? And she said, well, we had a little water problem.
Recently, Judy Duncan and her mother, Marguerite Johnson, got a chance to thank the men who saved their lives that day.
Hello, I'm Malcolm. Well, I was wondering if I was going to get another one.
The water rose so quickly that suddenly it was just coming in under the door. Suddenly it filled the front seat. I just knew when that fire truck came, No problem.
that everything was okay.
I liked it when Judy got out of the Suburban. She's carrying her purse. Well, where are you going to put this? And I was going. She said, "What if we fall?" And I said, "Well, if we fall, we're both going." You know, my guys, they actually rescued us instead of me rescuing the women. When I took them up, yeah.
I feel really grateful to them. I really do. And I just feel like somebody really made some split decisions that were very good and saved two people's lives.
We kept a lot of people busy that afternoon, didn't we?
Y'all were real fortunate that guardrail was sitting there.
I hope that I'm never put in that situation again, but at least if I am, I know the limits of the equipment, and I also know that I don't think there's any limits to the guys that I work around. Everybody was given all they had, and it worked.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, me too. You know, it's something that I guess all firefighters live for, because your heart's beating 90 to nothing and your blood's flowing real well. And it's what I love to do. I love rescue.
Next.
It took me maybe about 3 or 4 seconds to focus on who it was laying on the street. And when I saw his back, I thought, there goes my little brother.
On July 20th, 1992, the day before Taylor Hall was going to celebrate his 7th birthday, the one gift he had wanted most arrived at his home in Corona, California. His mother, Julie, his father, and his 5 sisters and brothers shared his excitement, never once imagining what might happen after he opened the box.
We never allow our children to open their presents before their birthday. But my husband, Steve, was going out of town. And I said, okay, we'll let you open your present. Unbeknownst to me, the kids told me later that he did skate around the house. He loves skates, and he lives on them. I don't think there's a day where he's not skated.
The oldest of the Hall's 6 children is 18-year-old Chris.
The next day, Taylor came in and he just started begging and begging and begging. "Oh, Mom, please let me go out and play."
Got down an hour. Sorry, bud.
And finally, I just got fed up. I go, "Mom, just let him go. Give him the rollerblades, let the kid go out and play. He'll be fine. It's no big deal. You know, hey, it'll be all right, you know."
He literally wore me down, and I said, okay. He could go out and just show his friends, and then he had to come back to do his work.
I looked out the door and there was a guy sitting in the middle of the street just screaming. It took me maybe about 3 or 4 seconds to focus on who it was laying on the street. Mom! And when I saw his back, when I could see his spine, I thought, there goes my little brother, in just a flash of a second.
When I heard the scream, I felt something that mothers never want to feel, that something's really bad wrong.
Mom.
I guess I was wishing that it wasn't him.
Don't move. The top of his rear end to the middle of his back, I could see it split open. And the first reaction I had was just keep him from moving. Don't move. He was in so much pain. He just kept saying, "I'm gonna die." I just wanted to say, "Taylor, I love you, Taylor. I love you, Taylor. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die."
Don't move. It's gonna be okay, bud.
His legs were just limp. And he had tire tracks embedded in his legs.
Taylor, you're gonna be okay.
It's okay. He was saying, "It hurts, Mommy. It hurts, Mommy." And that was tough. You never want to hear that from your child.
Within 3 minutes of the call, the Corona Fire Department arrived at the scene, led by EMT Captain Mark Kipley.
Coming down the street, I see a water truck sitting there. And my first thought in my head is, oh no.
You guys backing up a bit?
The amount of traumatic injury that could be involved with a delivery water truck that's estimated weight at about 15,000 pounds. That puts the intensity right to the ceiling.
Moments later, an advanced life support unit arrived, including paramedic Curtis James.
He had a tearing type of laceration that traveled down the middle of his buttocks and stopped just behind his scrotum. The turning of the tires must have rotated him to a point where it just kind of pulled him apart.
1, 2, 3. Riverside General Hospital, 9802. Okay.
He knows something's wrong, and he knows he's hurt. He looks right at your eyes like, help me, because he's looking for you to take him out of this terrible mess. You don't even know if he's going to make it. And that hits you right in the heart.
At Riverside General Hospital, head emergency nurse Janet Petrovich was part of the trauma team.
X-rays on their way.
Okay.
The thing that scared me the most was because of the extensive lacerations and the fact that it covered bone and his gut and his muscle tissue, we were afraid that infection could kill him. He said, I'm scared. And then he said he was afraid that he might die. When a patient says that, we get worried, because usually they have a feeling that something's going wrong inside their body. We try to reassure them as much as possible, but sometimes we just have to keep our fingers crossed that they're not right.
He's doing fine.
They told us that they wouldn't know all the extent of his injuries until they went in and really saw what was going on. But I didn't care because he was alive.
Taylor underwent 2.5 hours of surgery. He was transferred to Kaiser Permanente Medical Center, where surgeon Robert Rudick took over his care.
The biggest fears that we had on admission were that he just would not be able to walk and wouldn't be able to eliminate waste. To divert the fecal stream, he had to have a colostomy. He also had a tube in his bladder that would allow his urine to come out. They're very traumatic psychologically to parents and certainly to a child.
His sister Angela and the rest of the Hall children came to visit him.
He was in intensive care and they wouldn't let us see him. We walked around the outside of the hospital and we found his room.
Hi, is that your family? Let's open the windows.
He wanted to reach out and he wanted to grab him and he wanted to hold him, and he was just sitting there strapped to all these machines.
Love you.
I blew him a kiss goodbye. And he reached out and he got it.
Hey, Taylor, I'm going to try and get you.
Within 6 days of the accident, Taylor had made remarkable progress.
We knew that his bones were healing. All his other wounds were healing as well, and he was really getting a cabin fever, wanted to move around, wanted to prove to everybody that he was able to do this. Basically, I said, why not? Let's get going.
Now, what I want you to do is I want you to step with this leg first.
There you go. Good job. And I honestly didn't think he was up to it, but he just wanted it so bad.
You're walking. Way to go, buddy.
He was going to walk again. That was the most wonderful feeling in the world.
7-year-old Taylor Hall spent nearly 4 weeks in the hospital and underwent months of painful physical therapy.
It's been a year since the accident, and Taylor is incredible. His doctors say that he's a walking miracle. There's no reason that he should be alive. And I don't know why I am so lucky to keep him.
I felt like I was jello and like I was gonna die. But then everybody came out and started helping me. I didn't like it when I got run over one day before my birthday.
I think for rollerblade safety, All the safety gear should be worn all the time, because you never know when you're going to take that spill. Learning to stop and where to ride. Those things need to be addressed every time they take them out.
Taylor's father, Steve, is proud of how his son has proven he can overcome obstacles.
He loves to roller skate, ice skate. Basically, all the things that he did before, he still does now. He just doesn't run as fast or as fluid as he used to. He's got a real positive attitude about things. I don't think there was ever, in his mind, a thought that he wouldn't get better.
I never thought in a million years that he would be the way he is today. What he's accomplished and what he's done, and the miracle that he's still alive just makes him one of the most special kids that I know. I'm ecstatic to have him back. I love him.
Step out of the car, please.